everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Sparkle On with John, and tonight I am an expression of Miss Glittah. And we're going to read together where we left off, if you will. Hope for the Flowers, Pictures and Words by Trina Paulus. So where we left off. Okay, so we're going to the next page. So if you first watch the first video and then watch this video, if you want to hear the story continue. Story time with Miss Glittah. And then there's something else. Once you are a butterfly, you can really love the kind of love that makes new life. It's better than all the hugging caterpillars can do. Oh, let me go and get Stripe, Yellow said. But she sadly knew he was too far into the pile to possibly reach. Don't be sad, said her new friend. If you change, you can fly and show him how beautiful butterflies are. Maybe he will want to become one too. Isn't that beautiful? Let's just make sure. Okay. Yellow was torn in anguish. What if Stripe comes back and I'm not there? What if he doesn't recognize my new self? Suppose he decides to stay a caterpillar. At least we can do something as caterpillars. We can crawl and eat. We can love in some way. How can two cocoons get together at all? How awful to get stuck in a cocoon. How could she risk the only life she knew when it seemed so unlikely she could ever be a glorious winged creature? What did she have to go on? Seeing another caterpillar who believed enough to make his own cocoon, and that peculiar hope which had kept her off the pillar and leaped within her when she heard about butterflies. That's in the cocoon. And that's the yellow. The gray-haired caterpillar continued to cover himself with silky threads. As he wove the last bit around his head, he called, "You'll be a beautiful butterfly. We're all waiting for you." And Yellow decided to risk for a butterfly. For courage, she hung right beside the other cocoon and began to spin her own. Imagine I didn't even know I could do this. That's some encouragement that I'm on the right track. If I have inside me the stuff to make cocoons, maybe the stuff of butterflies is there too. See, they're in their cocoons. Yellow and Stripe. So sweet. Chapter... I'm still learning Roman numeral. As there may all be. Chapter V, but with 2 lines. I'm not sure. But we're on page 86. If you happen to have this book. This wonderful book. Stripe made much faster progress this time. He was bigger and stronger since he had taken time out. From the beginning he determined to get to the top. He especially avoided meeting the eyes of other crawlers. He knew how fatal such contact would be. He tried not to think of Yellow. He disciplined himself neither to feel nor to be distracted. See my eyes today? They look like flowers and sunshine and rainbow and flower texture. Stripe didn't seem disciplined to others, quote unquote. He seemed ruthless. Even among climbers he was special. He didn't think he was against anybody. He was just doing what he had to do if he was to get to the top. Don't blame me if you don't succeed. It's a tough life. Just make up your mind. He would have said had any caterpillar complained. Then one day he was near his goal. Stripe had done well, but when light finally filtered down from the top, he was close to exhaustion. At this height, there was almost no movement. All held their positions with every skill a lifetime of climbing had taught them. Every small move counted terribly. There was no communication, only the outsides touched. They were like cocoons to one another. Then one day Stripe heard a crawler above him saying, "None of us can get any higher without getting rid of them." Underlined. Soon after, he felt tremendous pressure and shaking. Then came screams and falling bodies. Then silence. Lots more light and less weight from above. Stripe felt awful with this new knowledge. The mystery of the pillar was clearing. He now knew that He now knew what had happened to the 3 caterpillars. He now knew what must always happen on the pillar. Frustration surged through Stripe, but as he was agreeing this was the only way, quote-unquote, up, he heard a tiny whisper from the top. "There's nothing here at all." It was answered by another. "Quiet, fool. They'll hear you down the pillar. Where they, underlined, where they want to get, that's what's here." Stripe felt frozen. To be so high and not high at all. It only looked good from the bottom. There's Stripe. The whisper came again. "Look over there, another pillar, and there too, everywhere." Stripe became angry as well as frustrated. "My pillar," he moaned. "Only one of thousands. Millions of caterpillars climbing nowhere. Something is really wrong, but what else is there?" His life with Yellow seemed so far away. That wasn't it either, not quite. Yellow! Yellow! He let her image fill his being. "You knew something, didn't you? Was it courage to wait? Maybe she was right. I wish I were with her. I could go down," he thought. "I'd look ridiculous, but maybe it's better than what's happening here." But Stripe's thought was interrupted by bursts of movement all over his level. Each seemed to be making a last effort to find some entry to the top, but with every push the top layer tightened. Finally, one caterpillar gasped, "Unless we try together, nobody will reach the top. Maybe if we give one big push. They can't hold us down forever." But before they could act, there were cries and commotion of another kind. Stripe struggled to the edge to see the cause. A brilliant yellow-winged creature was circling the pillar, moving freely. A wonderful sight! How did it get so high without climbing? When Stripe poked his head, the creature seemed to recognize him. It extended its legs and tried to grab him. Stripe caught himself just before being pulled out of the pile. The brilliant creature let go and looked sadly into his eyes. That look activated excitement Stripe hadn't felt since he first saw the pillar. Words from the past returned. ... Butterflies alone, in quotes. Is this a butterfly? And what did it mean? The top. They'll see? It was all so strange and yet like it was supposed to be. And those eyes with the look of yellow, could it be? Such impossible thoughts, yet the excitement inside wouldn't stop. He grew happy. Somehow he could escape. He could be carried away. But as this possibility became real, something else grew inside. He felt he shouldn't escape like this. Looking into the creature's eyes, he could hardly bear the love he saw there. He felt unworthy. He wanted to change, to make up for all the times he had refused to look at the other. He tried to tell her what he felt. He stopped struggling. The other stared at him as though he were mad. Next chapter. VI, I don't know that Roman numerals, if you want, you can write in the comments and, if you want. And, create dialogue here. He turned around and began down the pillar. This time he didn't curl up. He stretched out full length and looked straight into the eyes of each caterpillar. He marveled at the variety and beauty, amazed that he had never noticed it before. He whispered to each, "I've been up here. I've been up. There's nothing there." Most paid no attention. They were too intent on climbing. One said, "It's sour grapes. He's bitter. I bet he never made it to the top." But some were shocked and even stopped climbing to hear him better. One of these whispered in anguish, "Don't say it even if it's true. What else can we do?" Stripe's answer shocked them all, including himself. "We can fly. We can become butterflies. There's nothing at the top, and it doesn't matter." As he heard his own message, he realized how he had misread the instinct to get high. To get to the top, he must fly, not climb. Stripe looked at each caterpillar, inebriated with joy that there could be a butterfly inside. But the reaction was worse than before. He saw fear in eyes. They didn't stop to listen or speak. This happy, glorious news was too much to take, too good to be true. And if it wasn't true? The hope that lit up the pillar dimmed. All seemed confused and unreal. The way down was so immensely long. The vision of the butterfly faded. Doubt flooded Stripe. The pile took on horrible dimensions. He struggled on, barely, blindly. It seemed wrong to give up believing, yet believing seemed impossible. A crawler sneered, "How could you swallow such a story? Our life is earth and climbing. Look at us worms. We wouldn't be butterflies inside. We couldn't be butterflies inside. Make the best of it and enjoy caterpillar living." "Perhaps he's right," sighed Stripe. "I haven't any proof. Did I only make it up because I needed it so much?" And in pain he continued down, searching for those eyes which would let him whisper, "I saw a butterfly. There can be more to life." One day, finally, he was down. Chapter V, and then, Roman numeral 2. Tired and sad, Stripe crawled off to the old place where Yellow and he had romped. She was not there, and he was too exhausted to go further. He crawled up and fell asleep. When he finally awoke, he found the yellow creature fanning him with wings of light. Is this a dream, he wondered? But the dream creature acted awfully real. She stroked him with her feelers and most of all looked at him so lovingly that he began to trust that what he had said about becoming a butterfly might be true. She walked a little distance away, then flew back. She repeated it as if he should follow. So he did. They came to a branch from which hung 2 torn sacks. The creature kept on inserting her head, then her tail, into one of them. Then she would fly to him and touch him. Her feelers quivered, and Stripe knew she was speaking. He couldn't make out words, then slowly he seemed to understand. Somehow he knew what to do. Stripe climbed again. It got darker and darker, and he was afraid. He felt he had to let go of everything. And Yellow waited. Until one day, the end. And that completes Hope for the Flowers by Trina Paulus, words and pictures, a tale partly about life, partly about revolution, and lots about hope for others and others, for adults and others, including caterpillars who can read. Thank you. This is today's beautiful expression of myself, and may we love, honor, and respect and accept ourselves as we are going through this cocoon, as we are becoming butterflies. All of us. I'm leaving. I'm gonna end here, and I wish you a beautiful now. And so this is story time with Miss Glittah, and so I'll choose another book. And I'm really grateful that I got to come on here, even after work, and because I'm dedicated and I care. And namaste. Sparkle on in good health.